Today we're going to take this Corky fill valve and flapper kit and replace the one in the toilet that's currently leaking and making it run and make noises. So for our toilet valve replacement and flapper replacement, for our experienced DIYer, it'll take about 15 minutes. If this is your first time replacing it, it'll probably take you about 30 minutes because you want to be sure and read the instructions and take your time and do every step right. After you've done this a couple of times over a number of years, if you've got 3 or 4 toilets in your house, seems like you're always doing it once or twice a year. But nonetheless, this is a DIY project. So let's see what's in this kit.
So if you're watching this video because you want to know how to fix your fill valve and flapper, then I suggest you pause this video and hit the subscribe button. This will allow you to come back to the video when you're actually ready to start your repair on your toilet.
So you have a valve unit like this. This is the float tank. And you have the water flow valve that will connect into here. And this part will connect into the pipe coming out of the toilet. This is your adjuster to adjust the height of your post. And here is a washer that will fit. And a new flapper valve. And this connects here, and that's what, every time you flush, this lifts up to let the water into the bowl to flush the toilet. So there are detailed instructions that come with this. This is very good. It tells you to turn off the water. That's always a good thing to do. It tells you how to measure, how to adjust. So keep these handy in case you need them. Now there are some units that don't come with a flapper valve, but I'm saying if you're in the toilet and you're making the replacement every 5 or 6 years, you might as well put a new one of these. You don't want to come in and put you in a new post and then have to come back a year later just to replace the valve. It's cheap enough to do it. This whole setup only cost me 14 bucks. All right, let's flush it and show you what happens. See that water coming out of the top of that? That's part of the problem. So this valve is leaking where it shouldn't be, and that's causing a little running in the toilet. So the valve needs to be replaced. Valve down here, and basically all we do is pull this out, and that turns off the water. Next, you come up here and you take off the lid. Then you flush the toilet to drain all the water out. Nothing's going to be filling back up. You want to make sure all the water goes out as best you can. And then you will have to either hand push that into the hole to drain out, or you can get a towel and mop it up. So we're going to do a combination of both. So the reason you want to bail this water out is this particular piece right here we're going to remove, and there's a hole in the bottom underneath, of which is right here. And so when we take this off, you're going to have some water that drains out. So we're going to try to get best we can out so we don't spill it all over the ground. So you just remove this valve here by hand. Pretty easy. You can see a little bit of water drips out. And then we have underneath here, now let's get this out of the way, this washer here. Let's get a pair of pliers to loosen this one right here. So this has been loosened with the pliers, and now I'm just spinning it off. Just fall down, and then we can pull out our unit. And so that's all that is. And so this is the whole unit that we're replacing. So we're going to set the approximate measure off this one, so let's do that now. You'll notice that these two are different sizes, and the key is to have this one about the same height as that one. So the instructions say to turn this counterclockwise, and that releases this. And then this has an adjustment of which you can raise or lower to whatever height you need. Since we loosened this previously by moving counterclockwise, now all we do is move it back the other way. And now it locks that in that location. So we're going to make this one approximately the same height as the other one. And this is the valve in this section here. And so we're going to try to match this water line to what was in here on that one. And so that's where the water line should be. You also can look inside your tank and see where the water line is. And let's check on that now. On this pipe you can see we have a water line designated right here. So that needs to match up with the line on our fill valve. Okay, we're going to put our fill valve set in the hole. Okay, there we go. And you can see on the side is the fill water line right there. And we know that that is about level to the water line shown here in the tank. So there may be some little finer adjustments, but we certainly can do that. So let's continue with screwing that valve in. Our valve in the tank, and we have this valve underneath here, and we're going to tighten that guy back up. I'm going to hand tighten that, and then we'll basically do this. So I have to set the camera down to work with two hands, so we'll come back to this in a second. So I was having a little bit of problem pulling this up, and what I had to do was just grab this with a pair of needle nose pliers and pull it straight up. It's open-ended on the other side. The replacement one just has these little knobs, and it just slips over the edges. So that'll be pretty easy to set in, so let's do that now. Now with your chain, because the chain has to be attached to your flush arm, if this thing is too long, and sometimes many times it is, all you have to do is take this link off and move it down the chain a little bit and then attach it here, and that'll shorten it up. It's easy enough to do. What we have to do is hook up our fill pipe. And so this is going to go on top of here. But you can see this thing is way too long for that. So we're just going to trim this a little bit right here and easily fit that in there. So let's stick this on the end here first, and then we'll go from there. We got all our parts back in and installed, so let's test this by turning the water on. And we'll hear that water flowing. And what we'll do is we'll put a paper towel underneath the floor to make sure this particular valve connection doesn't leak. So we can see this thing is filling up. Now we have the tank full, so it's stopped there without going over top of our fill line there. So let's flush it. Toilet's flushing nicely. It's filling back up, and the tank is filling. Successful install. So that completes our toilet bowl valve replacement.
Thanks, honey.
So if you want to see more of our home repairs, be sure to subscribe down below. If you like this particular video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. And as usual, come back and see us real soon.